I hope you are doing pretty fucking dope. So let's get right into the video. In this video, we'll create this site of the month or site of this year website of this particular section. So there is like this project section. When I scroll, it is scrolling horizontally, as you can see that. And after that, the next section will come up. So even if I scroll on reverse, this section is scrolling horizontally. So I have created something similar like that, and if I scroll that, as you can see that this section is scrolling horizontally. As you can see, when I scroll, the sections are moving horizontally and it is scrolling horizontally, and after that the, the other section will come up just like this. So we'll create this section. So now let's get jump into the code. As you can see that I am on VS Code and I have created this route, horizontal scroll route, and I have rendered this and it is rendering perfectly. So now what I will do is I will give it a class name of height of screen, and I will just flex, justify center and item center, so that our content will be centered horizontal and vertically. And after that, what I will do is I will create another div just like here, and I will give it a class name of flex of justify start, gap x of 48, and padding left of 32, just like this. And before that, I will have to create a card. So for that, I will create another div. This will be our card UI, and there will be another div. And for the class name, I will give it a aspect of square, so that the width and height will always be equal. So even if I give width of 700 px, the height will also be 700 px to maintain its aesthetic ratio. So after that, what I will do is I will create a component called image component, and I will give width, height, and class name. Width will be 700. The class name will be width full, so that it will take the width and height of the parent div. Width full, height full. Object will be cover, and object will be on top. The rounded will be 40 px, and for that I will give it a alternative tag just like this, and I will give a random image, or you can give anything you like. Oh, the source is missing. So for the source, what I will do is you have to provide the source of the image. So I will just copy and paste the images that I have used in my project. So inside the public folder, I will paste the images. Images will be, first I will use one.jpg, and I will just remove just like this. And if I now see the UI and refresh the page, as you can see that our image has been rendered successfully here with this card. So what I will do is I will give the background of this tip to be busy of gray, like 200, just like this. Okay, and it is looking good. So now what I will have to do is, now it is time to map now it is time to create an array of this data and map it. So I will create this array. I have created this cards data array to store all of the images, so that I can map this card. So now what I will do is I will write cards data dot map. I will map this data and I will return this card. I will enclose this and I will put it right here. So the source will be d dot image, just like this, and the key will be d dot id. Now if I save this, as you can see that our images has been rendered successfully. Our images are rendered successfully and it is scrolling just like this. So we do not want that. We want this to be scroll horizontally uh, when I scroll this page vertically. So to do that, what we can do is to hide that overflow inside this page component, or you can right here, you can just write overflow hidden. So the main div will be overflow x hidden. And as you can see that the horizontal scroll bar is gone. Now it's time to add some animation. So for the animation we will use GSAP and scroll trigger. So to use animation you have to mark this component as client component, and I will import GSAP just like this. Import GSAP from GSAP, and I will import scroll trigger also from GSAP/scroll trigger, and I have to register this plugin scroll trigger just like this. So I have imported GSAP scroll trigger and I have registered the scroll trigger plugin. Now it's time to add some animation. So now what I will do is I will write my animation logic inside the use GSAP hook. So this is a hook provided by GSAP. I will do arrow function just like this, and I will create a timeline of the animation. So to create timeline you have to just write constl equals to gsap.timeline, and we will use scroll trigger, and inside this you will have to pass the object for the trigger. When will it be trigger? So the scroll will be trigger when I scroll this page, when this container div hits the start point of the scroll trigger. So to do that, what I will do is I will create another div, another parent div, and I will just copy and I will just cut it right inside here, and I will give it a ID of scroll underscore start, and I will give it a height of like 300 bh, so that there will be enough overflow to scroll that section. So if I scroll that, as you can see that it has enough overflow, and the busy gray will be right here. This section will be right here. Now if I scroll the page, as you can see that there is enough scroll section to scroll that section. I will format this code. Now I will have to pin this section. So I will have to pin this images section so that its position will remain pinned. It will be remain fixed, and it will move horizontally in x-axis. So to pin this section, firstly I will have to give border, so that I'm pinning the right section. If I give just like this, there will be border in this section, so I'll have to pin this whole section so that it does not get scroll when I scroll it horizontally. And our scroll animation will start from this div when it comes into the viewport. So for the trigger I will write hashtag. I will copy this ID and paste it right here, and the markers will be true to debug this code, and pin will be this section. So I'll have to pin this section. To pin this section I will give another ID scroll underscore pin, and I will copy this ID and paste it right here, and I'll have to provide the hashtag here, and I will give this pin spacing to be false so that it does not create any additional spacing. Now if I save this, our code should run. So if I scroll, as you can see that our content is pinned. Even if I scroll, it is not moving. It is its position is fixed, and as you can see that there is like start and scroll start there. So I'll have to manually adjust its position. To adjust its position, what I will do is I will create start, and I will give like 18% and 50%. Now if I save this, and if I reload the page, as you can see that the start section is on 18% from the viewport, and this scroller start is 50% from the viewport. So even if I, so if this start will cross this scroller start, the animation will run. As you can see that firstly it is getting little bit of scroll, and if it hit that section it is getting pinned. As you can see that, and the animation will end when this end section will hit this scroller end section. So to do that, I will have, there is enough height, so I will reduce the height to 280 vh, just like this, and I'll have to modify the end value. End will be on 80% and 50%. So these are tried and tested value. You can play with this value as you like. And now if I reload the page, scroller end is here and start is right here. So if I scroll the page, the container is getting pinned, and now if this end will hit this, and this section is getting scrolled. As you can see that this section is getting scrolled. So this is how you can pin any section. Now our section has been pinned, and as you can see that our content alignment is not good. It is alignment on center. So I'll have to give it and on start. Justify start. This is getting on center, so I will give it just like this, justify start, so that our content will be start from this section, this start. Now if I scroll this, as you can see that our container is pinned. Now it is working good, and it's time to add some. Now it's time to move this section in negative direction. So to move these images in negative direction, we have to move this whole div in negative direction. To do that, it is really simple. You have to just continue the timeline to hashtag scroll. So this section will move this section in x-axis, in negative axis, and you have to pass it just like this. In x, I will give it minus 70%, and duration will be 1 second. Now if I save this, and now if I reload the page, when this start will hit, scroll start, and if I scroll, as you can see that our section is moving, and it is moving, but when I reverse scroll, it is not working. The animation is not reverse back. So to resolve that issue, you have to use scrub. So the scrub handle the reverse animation. So if I pass scrub to be 2, as you can see that it will be too much smooth. It will be very much smooth. So if I scroll the page, as you can see that it is running smoothly, and if I even reverse scroll, it is getting reversely scroll, just like this. So in production, you can remove these markers, and I will remove this border because we are using that to debug our code. Now if I reload the page, as you can see that there are no markers present, and if I scroll, it is getting scrolled too much smoothly, just like this. And it is working perfectly. As you can see this, it is working very much perfectly. And if there are other section, I will create other section so that you can continue with your other HTML element. So I'll just copy and paste this code. So if there are other section, then you can render it just like this, other section, and you can do it like this. And if I now save this code, it is working perfectly, and other section is coming just right there. So this is how you can create horizontal section scrolling with using GSAP and scroll trigger. And I hope that you like the video, and I will see you in my next video.